What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Dorian Show. I got good news for everyone. The world is coming to an end, everyone. The world is going to be destroyed. What do we got going on? We got a war going on in Ukraine. Oil prices is going through the roof. Stocks are tumbling, and here I am just stuffing my fat face as the world around burns down. It's pretty incredible, guys. So much is going on right now. I don't know how the recession is coming. I don't know if anybody here thinks the government could save us from the recession. I got bad news for you. The recession's going to come as it hit us hard. It hasn't come yet, but it will come. And we might even have a depression, which is a prolonged time of bad times, just people living in poverty, losing their homes, losing their jobs. It's going to come. It's going to come. And how is it, do you think we should prep for the recession? You might ask, And with most things in life, I think the only way to come out of the recession is to come out a winner. And how am I going to do that? I don't know. I think right now you should probably... Let me tell you what I'm going to do. Right now, what I'm doing is I am trying to hoard cash. As much cash as I can right now. And I have also a line of credit that I could pull from. So I'm just waiting for a time when everything's going to feel like it's going to hurt real bad. And that's when I'm going to throw all my money into stocks and crypto. And hopefully I would come out of this depression or recession. I guess a recession will make you depressed. And I hope I'm going to come out of it a millionaire. And that's the only way to look at it, honestly. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not. But, you guys shouldn't just take this, just see it coming. You know what I mean? I feel like the coming recession is like you're on a little boat and just watching like a huge wave coming towards you. And pretending like it's not happening is not going to help anyone. So the only way to cope is to conquer it. And you might die on the way or die trying to conquer it. But, at least you tried. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't know. Maybe in 5 years, you can look back at this video and you could be like, oh, this is the moment Dorian became rich. Or you guys could look back at this moment. This is where I lose everything. So who knows? I mean, who can honestly tell? I don't know. But I'm going to try to come out of here a winner. I'm going to try to come out here a winner, guys. And that's all I could ask. Yeah, I'm just, it's crazy while like the whole recession thing, everything's crumbling around me. I'm just here gaining weight like a motherfucker, dude. It's crazy. Past 2 weeks, I probably gained like 10 pounds. I don't know. I could see why people hate us, in the U.S., where everybody's struggling and we're just here just eating. So good. Just eating pizza and ice cream, whatever the hell it is while we're complaining about a recession. Whatever. Things are so expensive. I'm just going to have another slice of pizza from Domino's for $8. 3 toppings, pan crust. Things aren't that bad, guys. Things are not that bad. And I just want to, if I could take a look at my own life, I think I'll just be happy if I could just eat and gain weight and also go to the gym and lift weights. So that's all I need in my life is to eat as much as I want and then go to the gym and lift weights. The only thing I'm missing is like a dime piece in my life that just hates my guts and just disgusted by me. But that's all I could ask for, right? I got 2 of the 3 right now, so maybe after the recession, I'll get the triple threat of a happy life. So crypto. So yesterday, let's take this back, okay? So I was using this crypto lending platform called Celsius Network, and if you guys been following this podcast, I think either a week or 2 weeks ago, I said I was completely out of Celsius Network. And guess what? Yesterday, so today's Monday, I don't know what day it is. Today's Monday, the 13th. So yesterday, Sunday, Celsius announced that they were pausing people's ability to withdraw their funds from Celsius. Oh my God. And a little part of me is kind of happy that, I'm very happy that I got lucky, and even though I know a lot of people are suffering right now, but part of me feels like, oh man, I'm so smart. I'm so brilliant. I got out at the right time. I was able to generate yield from them to get a couple $1,000 for free. And I was able to leave at the perfect time. Of course, that's not true. A lot of it has to do with luck. And I do feel bad for some of my friends that are still in it and their money is kind of stuck in there. But besides them, like when I left Celsius a couple weeks ago, I went on Twitter, not Twitter. I went on Reddit. And a lot of these, if you're a nerd like me, Reddit has like communities on basically everything. And there was like a Celsius network community. And I was like, hey guys, I'm leaving. It's so sad. I love you're earning 7% interest on my crypto, but it's so dangerous. I'm afraid. I gotta go. And I left. And then I part of the reason I like typed that is because I'm like, I feel bad for leaving. And part of me felt like kind of a pussy. But there were some fucking haters on there. You know what I mean? Like on my Reddit post, a lot of people are like, oh, good luck not being rich. Good luck not earning any interest on your money. See ya. Goodbye. Ta-ta. And people are just like all these other not hateful, but they kind of just shitting on me because they want to. I mean, it goes both ways, right? I'm trying to say this. I'm trying to say that I like to think I was making the right decision at the time, and they probably are the opposite. Think I'm making the worst decision of my life, so they're kind of just making fun of me. Because if I'm right, they're fucked, as we can see, and if they're right, I look dumb. You know what I mean? So it just turned it out that way, and I gotta say, I kind of like dancing on the graves of my enemies. Okay. So I don't know when I posted this thing on Reddit, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I remember all these people shitting on me. And guess what I did yesterday? You guessed it. Yesterday I found that old post I made and I went back to all the comments where people were making fun of me and hating on me and saying like, I'm going to be poor, and they have all their money tied up in Celsius and they're making all this great interest. I'm like, oh, how are your bags looking today, buddy? How does it look? How does it feel? How does it feel still being rich? And I gotta say, it was real fun. I mean, these are strangers that I don't even know. And I guess this is like one version of like where people argue with each other on Twitter or on Facebook about politics. This is my version of it. Like unknown people making fun of me for not taking risk. And I'm just going back to dunk on them. And I gotta say, it brings me quite a lot of joy. So much joy that some of them reported me, and I was getting warnings on Reddit, which come on, grow up here. You gotta complain to Reddit, and someone made fun of you, use the clown emoji face, But also, I'm a little surprised it took me so long to get a warning on Reddit. I've been on Reddit for at least 3-4 years now. A whole college degree's worth of time. And it just also just reminds me, I mean, I get kicked out of things pretty quick. You know what I mean? When I was in high school, I think I got kicked out of the Asian club probably within like a couple months. In high school, high school was a quarter semester. I don't know. I was kicked out of the Asian club pretty quick. And I like to think I am very Asian. And I'm not sure why I got kicked out, but it's probably because I was being a dick, which probably makes sense. But the thing I've got kicked, the quickest I ever got kicked out of something was that door next door, that app next door. I can't speak. Forgive me. You know what I mean? I was just trying to have some fun. Okay, next door, just a bunch of people complaining about the neighborhood blight. Oh, did you see that homeless man in the corner? Is that a prostitute? I just like to go up there, stir the pot a little bit, right? With a fake name. Just making jokes, trying to make people laugh, trying to make that community better. And they kicked me off in one day. It took me 2 weeks to get on that because they have to mail you some stupid thing. So you get a passcode to join Nextdoor. And then within 24 hours, I got my ass kicked out of that website. Their loss. Their loss, I would think. Anyway, so yeah, Celsius is... So right now, the crypto and stocks and everything are just falling, free falling. And because Celsius holds so many assets, so many crypto assets, they're illiquid right now. So that's why they stop people from being into withdrawals. So what they're most likely doing right now is just selling all your crypto, so they could get the money to repay you. No, they're selling all the crypto so they could get the money, and it'll crash whatever. If they're selling Bitcoin, it's going to crash Bitcoin because they have like billions of dollars of it. Same with Ethereum. So when they sell it, the price drops down. And then they buy it up for cheap, and then they return your coin like 50%, 60% below when you deposit it. But it's all right. It's part of life. This just shows that crypto lending, all these things, they're only good in a bull market, a market where there's low interest rate and people got money to spend. Like, it's just such a great time. When I first put it in, it was like getting 12% interest on my crypto, and it slowly dropped to 7%. And at that point I was like, this is not even worth it anymore, man. I'm out of here. I am out of here. What else is going on here, man? San Francisco, great place to live, except for, all the crime and homeless and crime and homeless. I mean, that's violent crimes too, I guess. Those are the triple threat of how to destroy a city. But San Francisco recently, what do you say? How do you call it? Say it. Where they kick someone out? They recalled the DA of San Francisco, Chesa Boudin. And let me say, dude, people are trying to say this is a Republican recall. Bro, we're in California, son. There are no Republicans here. And specifically San Francisco, like, I feel like Republicans are like 10% of the people. And guess what? Over 55% of the people wanted your ass out, Chesa. Chesa got chased out of the city. And I'm glad to see this guy gone. I mean, he refuses to prosecute. This is what happens when people get too woke. They like, this fool came in, wanted to defund the police. And then he just wanted to give like alternatives to criminals. Instead of doing prison time, he wants to like bring them to do rehabs or volunteering or whatever to kind of rehabilitate them, which is fine. Like, fine for certain things. I don't want anyone to go to jail for, smoking weed in public or selling weed or, I don't know, stealing a toy or stealing a sandwich. Like, I don't want these guys to go to prison for 25 years, but at the same time, there are people that just don't give a fuck. Like, if you've seen YouTube, there's just so many people. They literally go into like a Target or a Walgreens with a shopping cart, and they just like they go through aisles and just knock everything into the cart, and they just push that cart out of the store, and nobody does anything. This is San Francisco. And I can't say this is all Chesa's fault, okay? So Chesa refuses to prosecute these guys. And because of this, like, the police, the POPO, SFPD, decided to use that as an excuse to not do their job. So they stopped arresting people because they're like, well, I'm not going to arrest them because the DA refuses to prosecute. So basically no one does anything. Like, the police just like, it's his fault. And Chase is like, well, the police aren't arresting people. I can't prosecute anyone. But that's not the only thing, right? Sure, like, I mean, it's a big thing, right? Where stores are just getting robbed. Like, Walgreens are closing down all over San Francisco. You know what I mean? And like Targets and other stores are like closing down at like 6:00 at night because they're like, oh yeah, it's not worth it having these stores open because people just rob us. They just fucking rob us. So that's fucking bad, right? Number two, we have a huge homeless problem here in San Francisco. I don't think it's as bad as as LA though, but you know, a lot of the homeless here in San Francisco are using drugs, and they're just like openly smoking crack and fentanyl. You know, I was walking down the Tenderloin one time. I saw like 6 people lighting up. None of those people were lighting up a cigarette. They were all lighting up crack or fentanyl, which is crazy. And you're like, oh, how do you know it was fentanyl and not just tobacco? Well, you know, people typically just don't light up a glass pipe, okay, to smoke tobacco. People don't do that shit. They just buy a cigarette. Okay, I'm not an expert, but these guys look like they're in The Walking Dead. But yeah, and there's just no people don't prosecute people selling the drugs, you know. I heard someone say that Chesa was like, oh, you know, we can't arrest these people selling fentanyl because we're going to have to send them back to their country. And I forgot which one they said right now. Was it Guatemala? Was it? I don't want to say it was or not, because if it isn't, then I'll feel bad. But they're saying like, oh, if these guys get sent back to their home country, they will get murdered because they owe the drug dealers money. I was like, okay, so what are we going to do? We're just going to let them run free and freaking kill people here in our city? Like, fentanyl is not like weed. Like, every time you do fentanyl, there's a small chance. I don't know if it's a small chance, but there's a good chance. Small to good chance that you will die. You know? And some of you guys might be okay with it. I don't know. Maybe you think people should be able to do whatever they want. Just let them die. Just let people die. It's fine. Let them die. But of course, we don't want to do that. We're like, oh, we need to save them. We can't let them die. Then stop the drugs, okay? Stop the drugs. Stop letting people sell fentanyl. And killing the homeless, okay? Although the drug problem is both the cause and solution of homelessness, if you think about it. Anyway, and of course, there's the third issue here. You know, when you go too woke, it always fucking backfires on you. Okay, and what I've seen, what is the wokies, the lefties? What do we call these guys? The wokies, the woke lefties. Like, it all starts out good, right? At first, you want to stop racism, which I support. You know, you don't want to discriminate against. Like, police don't want to discriminate against, like, black people, Mexicans, Asians, etc., etc. Stop shooting people. I get it. But then they start grouping people together and they stop looking at people as individuals, but they see them as groups. And one of the issues that come out of this is that they only like go after crimes is from a group of people that are at a higher hierarchy, right? So if a white person, you know, commits a crime against a black person, they're, oh, we're gonna get these whiteys. But if it was the vice versa, or if there's like 2 minority groups, and I guess black people ranks higher than Asians in the eyes of the woke, which is fine. Like, I don't care about people caring about a special movement or giving special attention to us. Like, what I'm trying to say, I don't care if people support like Stop Asian Hate or not, but the police and the DA needs to do their fucking jobs, okay? All right, and people just basically they ignore crimes against Asian people unless they're committed by a white person, right? You guys remember that white guy who shot up like a spa or something? Like, he killed like, I don't know, like 5 people and 3 of them were Asian, and people were like, oh my god, crimes against Asians. But he said he was just killing them because he thought they were sluts. So, if anything, that was like ultimate form of slut shaming. You know, we should really stop that. But so that's weird, right? He kills like 5 people, 3 of them are Asian, but it becomes like it's a hate crime against Asian people. But in San Francisco, what's been going on is insane. Like, not a lot's happened, but compared to the past, like a lot is going on. Like, Chinese people in San Francisco are just getting punched in the fucking face, especially like old people, like the grandmas and the grandpas. You're just getting punched in the fucking face. And Chesa does not prosecute these guys who punch our grandmas. And a lot of these guys are, you know, but people try to make this like a race thing, right? So when a white guy punches an Asian guy, we're like, oh, let's get a white supremacy. But then like when a black dude punches one of our old Asians, like, it's just silence. And it's what's even worse is sometimes they would like blame it on white supremacy. They're like, white supremacy is turning our communities against each other. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Okay, just arrest the person doing the violent crime. It doesn't always have to be about race, even though I feel like Asians are being targeted. But it doesn't mean if one person punches an Asian guy, right? If a black person punches an Asian guy, it doesn't mean every black person is out there trying to hit Asians. That doesn't make any sense. Like, you would have to be so stupid to think that. But please prosecute these guys, okay? Like, this is like, why? The truth of the matter is, the people who punch these like old Asian grandmas, like, they've done this shit before. No one punches a grandma one time. They're like, this, I'm done. These fuckers have a taste for it, okay? So it's probably the same guys out there punching different grandmas, okay? So you just lock up like a handful of people, the punches on grandmas would go down. But Chesa wouldn't do that shit. And one of the worst cases, right? I remember a couple years ago. Luckily, this guy wasn't hurt, so he wasn't hurt, right? This old dude, Asian dude, collect cans, as some Asians do. Not all Asian people go and collect cans, all right? Okay? There are more Asian peoples than cans in San Francisco, okay? So not everybody's doing it. So this guy's out there collecting cans in the hood. And then all of a sudden, like, a group of people like surrounded him, and they started making fun of him. They grabbed his cans, grabbed his little basket. And I'm talking about like a whole group of people are just surrounding him, mocking him for picking up cans. And there's this kid just, I don't know if he's on the camera or he's like yelling at that guy. He's just like, I fucking hate Asians. And then one of them, I don't know if it's him or like another guy, start hitting the old guy with a stick. The old man at this point is like crying, right? He doesn't even speak English, and he's being surrounded by people that are just attacking him verbally and physically. Some guy hit him with a stick. He starts crying. They start mocking him, crying and shit. This is all in video, by the way. This kid like put it on his fucking Instagram like a... Well, I guess he doesn't look dumb because nothing fucking happened to him, right? So what happened, there was like a huge backlash about it, obviously, right? So I think when people see something on tape, when they see someone being attacked on the tape, obviously everybody comes together and wants this kid to be punished. Like, I'm not just Asian people, but like every community out there. I know everybody that saw it was on Facebook, on Twitter, were like, yo, this something like this is not okay. Like, you need to do something about it. You need to, there has to be some repercussions for filming an old Asian guy. You're stealing his cans, hitting him with a stick, making him cry, mocking him by pretending to cry. It's telling him you fucking hate Asians, right? Something's got to happen. And then Chesa was like, oh yeah, I'm going to take care of this. And guess what? Like a couple of days later, he posts on Twitter, he said, we're going to go through a diversion program. And instead of having this kid go to jail or prosecute him, we're going to have him do something else. Going to have him do like volunteer hours. And that was it. Oh, he was just like, oh, I talked to the victim. He said he was 100% with it. He agrees with this. And I'm like, bro, dude. Like, I think at the time, the kid who hit the old guy, or he videotaped the old guy, he was 18 years old. Like, I don't necessarily want this kid to go to jail or even go to juvie. Jail, he's 18. I don't want him. I don't necessarily need him to do time, but like, there has to be some sort of repercussion. You know what I mean? Like, what exactly does he have to do to show that he's learned from this? You know what I mean? Like, what Chesa just did was silence the victim and let people know, like, you could just record yourself beating up an old man, mobbing an old man, and there would be no repercussions. Okay. Like, I'm not saying this kid should have went to jail. I mean, there's other people on there. I forget. I think there's a couple people grabbing his shit, threatening him with a broom. Like, all of these people need some sort of punishment. I'm not saying necessarily jail time. Maybe like the older guys. There's some old dudes in there. Like, if you're 50 years old and you're trying to hit like a 60, 70-year-old with a broom, like, maybe you should maybe you should do a couple months in jail, okay? And likely that motherfucker's been to jail, right? Like, this is, like I say, like, people just don't hit like an old man one time and just, oh yeah, that's just a one-time thing. No, these fuckers have probably done it again. And it's obviously not the whole community, right? Not the whole community came out and attacked this old guy, but there was like 10, 12 people there. Okay, maybe these fuckers should get some time, And I'm not, so for the 18-year-old, I'm not even saying jail, but maybe like, I don't know, make it worth something, right? He's 18, probably doesn't have a good job. Just saying, like, maybe he has to pay restitution to his old man, $1,000 in 3 months, which is totally doable for other people. It's like, oh, $1,000 is really hard to get. Well, you know, it has to hurt, right? The whole point of like a punishment, it has to be worth something. So maybe like have him pay restitution for $1,000 or make him go fucking work at Chinatown and shit. Or, you know, just have his dad cane him in front of his house. No, I don't know. But something, just don't say like, oh, you know, I talked to the victim. He said he was okay with us going another way, and non-specific about it, right? Like the people need to know, like, just if you want real justice, the people need to know what happened and how he's like repaying his sins, so to speak. But nothing, it's just nothing. And I'm like, you're the fucking DA, dude. You don't need the victim's permission to prosecute people. All right. And I know these woke motherfuckers like to talk about like power dynamics, but this is a good example of what a power dynamic is. This old guy didn't even speak English. He would have agreed to anything, man. You could have just like threatened him and be like, you actually need to apologize for not letting them take your cans, and he would have done it. That's what power dynamics are. People like talking about power dynamics like, oh, race, gender, but this is a real fucking power dynamic. This guy is the DA of San Francisco, talking to an old man that doesn't speak English. Like this is a real power dynamic, not just skin and color and genitals. Like, do your fucking job. And I hope people in San Francisco learn their lesson. Like, don't be too fucking woke. Like, people don't like crime. Nobody likes crime. Nobody, not Asian, white, black people, Latino people. Nobody likes crime. And when you say you're like, oh, I'm not going to be serious on crime, you're only punishing the people that are the poorest, right? The same communities I'm talking about, Latinos, blacks, Asians. And the only people who supported Chesa Boudin, if you look at the map of who does not want to recall him, it was all like neighborhoods with like rich white people. They're like, oh yeah, let's keep him. And where they live, like crime doesn't fucking happen. You think people are breaking in like the white neighborhood? No, they're breaking into like stores and places where like, you know, working class are at, you know. So you're like in the face, you're saying I'm not trying to be racist, but you're punishing these lower class people, lower income class people, and a lot of them are racial minorities, right? So yeah, I mean, I hope they change this. They never, and I specifically like I think San Francisco is going to learn not to basically gaslight the Asian community, because it's a huge Asian community in San Francisco, maybe like 20-30%. Seems like it's more, honestly. Everybody's fucking Asian here. But like from Chesa Boudin just letting criminals get away with like beating up Asian people, killing. There was some guy who like bashed a cab driver's head in, and his like brains just all over the walls and shit. And there was video on it, and then Chesa just charged him with manslaughter, not fucking murder, but manslaughter. Like it was an accident. Like there was no intent of him grabbing a pipe and bashing someone's fucking face in. Chesa Boudin. What was I saying? Yeah, stop gaslighting the Asian community. Okay, stop trying to tell us like it's all racism and it's good to not prosecute criminals when the criminals are targeting Asian people, right? I was hoping they would learn. I mean, I guess this is around the same time, but people should really learn, because it started with the school board getting recalled. Like one of the ladies on the school board, in like one sentence, called Asians like the house N-word and proponents of white supremacy. They're saying like, oh, we're both the house N-word and white supremacists. And then this motherfucker got recalled, right? Like these people are insane. Okay, so I hope after this Chesa Boudin gets recalled, London Breed, who I think is a fine mayor, will, you know, hire a real DA who's willing to do the job to make the city actually safe for all people. But that's what's going on in San Francisco. The world is crazy, you know. Apparently, Congress is trying to make they're doing a review of January 6th. You know what I mean? Which is fine, I guess. You know, I saw some of these, the police camera shots of January 6th, and it does look kind of crazy. You know, from the outside, maybe a couple of years ago, you would see videos of January 6th, and you just see like middle-aged Karens with their phones like, oh, look, it's the Capitol. Oh, we're going to show them. We're going to change the world. But then when you watch like the camera when it's like micro in the actual situation, they're like, oh, get back, stay back. And it's kind of scary. So that's the whole point, guys. Just don't ever go to any places with a lot of crowd. Things can get crazy. The funniest thing about January 6th is I think like Congress is trying to turn it into like a mini documentary series. They're having like, yeah, we're going to show, it's going to be 6 parts and it's going to be on prime time on all the news channels. And I was like, dude, nobody fucking cares about January 6th as much as you think they are. This is not a fucking R. Kelly trial, dude. We already know everything there is about January 6th when it came out. Like a bunch of crazy righties, came and tried to like to overturn the election. We saw that. Like a bunch of people, some of them are just out there LARPing, but there's some like dumb assholes that got violent and broke shit, and they should all go to jail, and they are going to jail. But we don't need to see a 6-part series of this, man. Okay? Not when there's good TV on, like Succession. I don't know if Succession is out or not right now, but come on, dude. You want me to watch 6 episodes of January 6th, or do I want to watch The Boys on Amazon? That's a no-brainer. That is a no-brainer. Anyway, guys, I got an upcoming comedy show, July 1st, Friday. Come watch. We have a bunch of new people on, and I think we have a improv group. Thank you guys for watching. I feel like I was looking down a lot this whole time because it's weird looking at the camera. But thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys next week when the world will be destroyed. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.